Well, we finished laying the pipe out on that field, and then we called in the parks guy and asked him if our tank had showed up, and it still hasn't shown up. So we're gonna just plug that line for now, so that we can go. We don't want to have to wait for that tank to come in. It's gonna make it a pain. We're gonna have to fill twice as often, but at this point we can't wait any longer. We're just gonna have to get going. When the tank shows up, we'll have to hurry and slap it on and get it plumbed in so that we can use it. So I'm going to pull this back in. We've had to keep moving it out of our way because it sits, our pad from our shop sits right where the trucks pull on and off to get spuds out of the cellar. So we keep having to move it, and that's why you keep seeing a video of me pulling it, moving it around. I do like driving it, so sometimes, you know, we just cruise around for fun, but hopefully we can get everything smoothed out and get going planting spuds. Something is missing right here. It's there, but not here. No bueno. But seriously though, other than that, she's ready to go. Everything's greased up, lubed up, sprayed off the tractor. Try to look a little bit presentable, make everything work good. So, well, wash it off doesn't make anything work good, but at least makes us look good. Makes me feel better about myself. So tomorrow we will hopefully have that tank show up, and then we will get this thing up and running, and then when the seed shows up we should be good to go, plant some potatoes. Well, it's another beautiful morning in Idaho. We're getting ready to take the 6-row marker over and rebed those potato rows, get ready to plant today. Squiggly. We don't like our potato rows looking like that. That's not good. So that's why we're trying to remark it, see if we can straighten them out a little bit. But I don't know what it is with dirty windows. I don't know if you can see that, but somebody needs to clean those windows. All I can say is I'm glad I'm not driving this tractor. This is very boring. Look at that amazing marker. Isn't that just about the most entertaining thing you've ever seen? Well, now that we got that all set up, we're gonna let Skylar go ahead and remark those rows out. We're going to go over and grab the equipment and get it moved over to the fields stage so we can start loading potato seed as soon as it shows up in the planter and get planting. Holy cow, there's a potato plant back there. It's amazing what you can see when you have a clean window. Well, isn't this just the way it goes? Our potato seed hasn't shown up. Fertilizer hasn't shown up. The tank that we need for the back of the planter hasn't showed up. Yeah, but it's sunny outside. Guess I'll just have to entertain myself for a few minutes or hours or however long before anybody shows up. Well, they called and our tank is coming in here, so I'm headed into town. Our seed is going to show up while I'm gone. Sounds like things are finally coming together and we'll get some potatoes planted. We finally made it. Got the tank put on, all the hoses hooked up, everything's ready to go. Coming out of the truck. Going in the planter. Pretty good looking potato seed. Size profile looks pretty good, so pretty happy with what they brought down to us. Potato seed's just potato, and they cut it into sections, and we just plant in sections. And each section has to have what we call an eye on it. An eye is this little divot right here, and that's where it actually sprouts out of. Man, are we having fun now! Finally got some of the kinks worked out, but from there for a minute, well, actually not for a minute, for the past couple hours, been a little too frustrated. But we were having problems with potatoes not wanting to feed. They were getting dammed up and they weren't going down into the row unit. Row unit's where the seat actually goes into, and it puts it down and drops it down into the ground. And there's a chain in the bottom that feeds those, and the seat kept damming up and it wouldn't feed in there. So we were having problems with that. And then there's also a sensor, because you can't see when if the row unit is planting, if it's got potatoes in or not. And so there's a sensor that's supposed to tell you if you've got skips. And a skip is when there isn't a seed where it's supposed to be. So there's cups that hold the seed, and if a piece of seed doesn't get in there, they call that a skip. And right here, if you can see, number 4 here, the number 4 there wasn't reading. It was telling me it was totally blank, which means that the computer thought I wasn't planting any seed on that spot. So I had to go back and check it a few times. Philip actually ended up riding the machine for me and making sure that it was actually planting, and it was. So that was good. But the problem is if I did have a problem, I wouldn't know it. We found that one of the wires had been crushed and actually had been broken inside, and that's why I wasn't reading. But we're finally planting and getting going. This is the joys of always the first day of planting. You gotta work out all the bugs and get everything working smoothly, but we're going now, so all smiles and sunshine here. This one right here was our problem child. This shows me if we're pumping fertilizer or not. And off to the side you can see a little gauge, and that's my pressure gauge. And in each one of those tubes there's a little red ball. You can't see them very well right now, but that ball sits there and spins around and sits up at the top, and it shows me and lets me know that each nozzle is flowing what it's supposed to. If it's not, then the ball will drop down and I know I have a problem on that nozzle, and it tells me where my problem is. Really cruising now at that whopping 3.2 mile an hour. We're flying now. Controller is telling me to row unit 1. You can see right here that that bar down the bottom means that it's not planting. So let's go back and see what's going on, see why we're not getting any potatoes. As you can see, the bin's empty. I don't know, around the sensor problem. Apparently that chain just doesn't want to run. Let's go make sure we're not having a different problem. Well, I cleaned off the sensor and then the spuds fell in, so looks like we're good to go now. We'll have a little skip right there, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's getting a little dark out there. Oh, that's lots better. Gotta love the clapper. Well, it seems like we've got most of the kinks worked out. Everything seems to be working pretty good. Haven't had too many problems, knock on glass, I guess. Hopefully we can keep this up and I can get this next 10-wheeler planned off tonight before we go home for the night. Hopefully we can have some smooth sailing, get some ground covered, and get things done. That is one of the things about Idaho. We do have some beautiful sunsets. Just look at that.